Yeah, there's a nice little display of them right there. Alright, so at a Publix supermarket here with Landon. Say hello, buddy.
Hey guys.
Alright, and so someone recently left a comment about matching Superman ice cream in a soft bait. You know, sort of that swirl of those three colors. What Superman ice cream is what? I think it's like blue, red, and yellow, maybe? I'm not exact. I guess I should know this. But first things first, we got to go in there and get some so that we can look at the color on camera. I can match a soft bait, and then Landon can actually have some of the ice cream. So I think that's going to be the plan. Okay, what's going on, everybody? So Landon and I failed at getting Superman ice cream. Apparently, it's really not in grocery stores anymore. Little did I know. I guess I haven't looked for it in about 25 years. I don't think I've had Superman ice cream since Independence Day was in theaters, you know, like mid-1990s. So anyway, I can't find any in town. Our local homemade candy and ice cream shop doesn't have it, but they do have Spumoni right now, which is my favorite. It's an Italian flavor, but neither here nor there. I don't have any Superman ice cream on hand to do a compare and contrast, but I did find an excellent picture. So this is going to be kind of fun. It's going to be probably pretty simple color build wise, and we're going to try to come up with a few ways to just swash all three of those colors together, see if we can get that Superman swirl. So here we go. So real quick before we get started, I wanted to show y'all some really cool worms here. This is the same color, right? So everything you see here on the screen is the same color. They are just done in very different ways, okay? Right? So over here, if it'll focus, we have sort of a black, a brown, an emerald green, and a white pearl. And we have it in two different kind of ways that we poured it. This one is sort of a, you know, camouflage, kind of swirled, swish-washed pattern, sort of like we need to do today with the Superman ice cream. This one right here is a 4-layer laminate of the same exact colors. You really can't see the distinction between the black layer and the brown layer, but it's in there. So yeah, two very different ways of doing the same pattern. Okay, here we go. Superman ice cream. Wow, look at this. That's very exciting. I like how where the blue interacts with the yellow, you kind of get some green. So we need a very bright yellow, okay? Right? So we need a very bright yellow, a very bright red, and sort of a light blue. So we're going to have to mix white with blue to get that shade of blue, and then we're going to have to cut the yellow with some white so that it is the right shade of yellow. Because I think it's a little brighter yellow than this. So yeah, that's sort of what we are going to try to do today. Alright, we have 3 1-cup size measuring cups headed in there. We're going to run them for 6 minutes and see where that comes out. Okay, here we go. This is going to be quite the intense color build, I have a feeling. But we're just going to kind of jump in, right? So we're going to add our blue, yellow, and red. And we're just going to stir up each one and just see kind of where it gets us, right? So we can see right away that is way too dark of a blue. But that's our starting point. Right? I have no choice. That's my starting point. I either use blue or I don't use blue. So there we go. Stir in our red. Boy, the red looks right on. Dead on red is very bright already. It's not a dark cherry red or a red bug. It is a very bright, thick, opaque red by itself. However, the blue is going to need some work. So we're just going to automatically, or immediately, add some white, right? Because we need to opaque it and lighten it to more of like a baby blue. And then I think I need my yellow a little lighter, or excuse me, a little brighter. All right, so we're just going to kind of see where we're at here. And this might take quite a bit of troubleshooting. Right, so again, those are the colors we need. Those right there are the colors we have. Call me crazy, I think the red has a slight hint of pink to it, and I definitely need my yellow just a little bit whiter. Okay, I think a little bit more white in my yellow. Number 1, to opaque it. Number 2, to brighten it. My red was a little weak, so we need to opaque it with more red. Then we're actually going to add a little bit of pink to it. I just see pink to the red that I kind of want to see if I can get. So yeah, I think those are going to be our final changes there. And then we're going to do a drizzle test real quick. We have a contaminant in our blue. Okay, again, there is the target, and there's sort of what we have. Really close, you guys. In fact, that might be it. Alright, so in order to avoid having to use the triple injector, we're going to use the single injector trick, which basically involves opening up a single injector, and then we're going to pour in the colors one by one. So red, yellow, blue, or blue, yellow, red, and that way they will kind of swish and swirl together in a single injector. So here we go. It makes a mess, but it's a good way to do stuff like this. I don't know if you can see that, but that's pretty neat. Alright, and the good thing about these insulated AI injectors is that I'll have a little bit more working time to load all this in. Alright. Come on, baby. And basically, we're just going to see how many molds we can get. One mold down. 2 mold down. What do I want to do? We'll do this one next. I had a 4th mold lined up in case I thought I could get it all, but I can't. That's okay. We have plenty of plastic left over. Okay, let's do a mold reveal. Here comes the HD crawl. Drum roll, please. Okay, Superman round 1. I have no idea how this is going to look. So different. Okay, a little too red heavy, but this one over here seems to have gotten a little bit more of the blue and yellow. Oh wow, look at that. Tell you what, that claw is looking pretty Superman ice cream sexy right there. If that's a term. Okay. Yeah, I knew I had poured a little bit too much red right there at the end. And this was the first mold, but we're kind of on track. Hey, look at that. Next up, we have your traditional 5-inch stickworm. Still maybe a little heavy on the red. Well, I don't know. Here, let's kind of flip one over. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Now, it doesn't swirl like the Superman ice cream. The Superman ice cream, at least that photo, each color was a little stronger. So, like, there was a lot more blue by itself, a lot more yellow by itself. Our red seems to be the dominant color so far. But, yeah, a little bit of air. You always get a little bit of air pockets in your injector doing it that way, but really fun there. And it's a cool way to get these swirl patterns without having to milk the cow, you know, go to your dual injector or triple injector. So not bad. It's definitely got the Superman ice cream vibe. Last but not least, the Vexus. I knew I needed a creature bait with lots of little legs and extremities. Look at that. I think actually with a little bit less blending, this would be spot on. You can see the blue is a little lost because it's so swirled in. I almost need it to inlay where you get more of each color. I don't know though. The more I look at that, the more Superman ice cream. I mean, just look at this. All right, so let's look at that. Now, obviously, our photo on our phone is, you know, somebody's brightened picture there. Yeah. That is really fun. That might be as good as I can get it, y'all. All right, we're back. Now we're going to do it again. We have the HD crawl again because I really want to see that one turn out right. We're going to shoot the Vexus again and then a bonus mold. All right, so let's load up our colors. Slow and steady. You want to be real careful doing this, moving around this much hot plastic. Don't want to get in a hurry and spill it or burn yourself or anything like that. Alright, so we want to make sure we're wearing both gloves and we're taking our time. You don't have to go fast. Alright. Looks like we're about there. Alrighty, we're going to close up and run the molds. Alright, here we go. Let's see what happens here. We have a little bit of plastic left, but not enough to really do anything. Okay, round 2 was good, but not great. I actually think I got better results in round 1. I'll show you what I mean. Round 1, here's a Vexus from round 1. It just was a little less swirled. I think what happened was I poured the plastic into the single injector too hot. And when plastic is hotter, it's thinner and it will mix together more. So I think I need to redo this, mix the color up from scratch again, and load my injector where the plastic is cooler so it won't quite swirl together as much. Some of these are a little bit too marbly looking, and I lose a little bit of the brightness of each color. So that's kind of my thoughts on round 2. Round 2, not great. This is pretty neat. This is what came out of the injector nozzle when I basically flushed the rest of it out. It kind of, you can see how the plastic really wants to marble up, which is beautiful in its own right. But that's not exactly how that ice cream is swirled together. However, off camera, I did do all of this again. Okay? And ran the HD crawl again. So let's see how round 3 came out. Okay, there it is. Not bad. You can see we didn't quite get a strong showing of the red from this last round. However, that first run we did, the crawl we got was really red. So, if we sort of combine all of these, these 3 baits together to sort of get the entire look there, I'd say we got it, y'all. I would actually say that looks like Superman ice cream. Yeah. Not bad. Not bad. Yeah, there's a nice little display of them right there. That's a pretty good little representation. So, now comes the test. Does Landon recognize them as Superman ice cream colors? That will be the test, because he does not know that I am making this video today. Alright, buddy, here's the test, okay? What do Daddy's baits look like? Like, what do they remind you of? There we go. What do those colors remind you? Like, what does that look like?
That one's too blue, that one's too yellow, that
Too blue.
one's too red.
Okay, but what does it remind you of?
These remind me of Superman ice cream.
Yes! But these don't?
No.
Okay, so those look... Boy, I just got checked. Alright, so those look like the Superman ice cream, but you think those don't look as much like it?
No, that one looks more like the lobster red.
Okay, so it's too red, that one's too blue, that one's too yellow, but those look just like it? All right, folks, you heard it there. We halfway passed the test. All right, here, one more question. What about the claws? Look at the claws. Look at how all the colors blend in the claws.
But the lobster claws look good.
Okay, the claws look good, and these creatures look good. There we go. Okay, well, you heard it there. We sort of passed the test, sort of didn't pass the test. Landon was very critical. He knows what's up out here. He has developed his eye for color, just like his old man, but that was too funny. So we hit the mark in certain baits, but apparently did not hit the mark in other baits. Landon is the final judge. He's been obsessed with Superman ice cream lately, and I can't find any anywhere. So eventually we're going to have to make that happen for him. But that was too funny. Guys, really fun color experiment today. Big new mold release coming up soon. So something going on with the focus. Our next video should be a pretty exciting mold release. As long as it doesn't storm me out this weekend. This weekend's supposed to be pretty bad weather. But I'm really hoping to film this new mold. So hopefully I will see all of you in that video coming up. But like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and let me know down in the comments below. Did we match Superman ice cream or did we not? And which bait was your favorite? Did you prefer the HD craws, right? Or the Vexus creatures? The worms were just so-so. But those two molds right there, I think really did good. We'll see you in the next video.